Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Microsoft is busy finalizing our next optional bug fix C-release update for Windows 11 24H2. Currently, it's been finalized with the Windows insiders in the release preview channel. And the next optional update that will be rolling out, according to Microsoft, starting next week, Tuesday the 28th, which will also be our first optional update for 24H2 this year, is KB5050094 and will appear on your Windows Update page as an optional update unless you have this toggle turned on, as you may well know by now. First of all, there are 8 new features that are rolling out. 7 of those new features are on a gradual rollout, and 1 of the new features is on a normal rollout. So most of these new features, which Microsoft lists as new features for this next optional update, you may see at the get-go, you may not. Obviously, those are on a controlled rollout. Now, because we only get 1 new feature and 1 fix rolling out as a normal rollout, I'm going to start there for this video. And first of all, if you are using the Windows Backup, app, apparently there's a new improvement for the app where you will now have a standard Windows 11 taskbar after restoring from a backup via the Windows Setup Experience, OOBE, out-of-box experience, on a new PC. And Microsoft says you can still find your apps in the Start menu and search and pin apps you want to your taskbar. But just take note, if you are in the EEA, the European Economic Area, this change is not yet rolling out to you. So just take note of that. And then we get 1 fix that's rolling out normally, and that's for high dynamic range HDR monitors. Apparently the display of some games appeared oversaturated, which occurred when you use auto HDR, and that's getting fixed. Now that new feature and that fix are rolling out normally. So the other 7 new features and a whole lot of other little fixes are rolling out using a gradual rollout. So just to focus on what's new, rolling out using a controlled phased approach. Now, first of all, there's a new feature for the taskbar where the update will improve the previews that show when your cursor hovers over apps on the taskbar. And apparently this is also going to improve the animations. So that's going to be interesting to see what that looks like at the end of the day. And there's a new improvement for Windows Studio effects. And apparently, when the update rolls out, there will be an icon which will appear in the system tray when you use an app that supports Windows Studio effects. Just take note though, this only occurs on a device that has a Neural Processing Unit, NPU. So this is more geared towards Copilot plus PCs. And then just to mention the next, there's a new font that adds Simsun-ExtG, which is a new simplified Chinese font that's listed as a new feature. And then File Explorer has quite a bit going on with it. There are 2 new features for File Explorer and 4 fixes. And the first new feature for File Explorer is you now have quick access to items that others have shared with you. And the shared items include files, emails, Teams, chats, and a whole lot more, according to Microsoft. And to view them, you must use a Microsoft account or a Microsoft Entra ID account to sign into Windows. So if you're using a local account, you will not see the new shared section when it rolls out on your home page. So that's where it'll be found on your home page when that new feature does eventually roll out. And then the next one is a new feature which I'm quite happy to see, which Microsoft stripped out of Windows 11 when it first rolled out, and it's now bringing it back with this update, which is currently available in Windows 10. When you right-click items in the left pane, the new folder command appears on the context menu, which currently is not the case. Currently, it's hidden in Show More Options, so you've got to go for an extra click. So I think that's a nice move in the right direction. So those are the 2 new File Explorer features. And then, so the fixes rolling out for File Explorer, the first is that after you do a search, it might repeat when you don't want it to. The next is they fix date and time properties of a file that might update after you copy it. And that's a very small but significant fix, which could affect quite a lot of different files. And when it comes to the details pane, the icons in the details pane apparently were not updating as you would expect when you change a theme. So that apparently has been fixed as well. And back to the search box. The search box might lose input focus as you type. That's also been addressed. But something that I'm really concerned about is Microsoft still hasn't mentioned the See More menu going up the wrong way. And even if you minimize that, it still goes up the wrong way. So still no fix for this, and I cannot understand why it's taken them so long, and that's getting quite annoying, I must be quite honest. But anyway, nonetheless, that's what's happening in our next optional update with the File Explorer. And just on a side note, this is still in release preview, so this is subject to change. So hopefully they will pop that fix in for that See More menu as part of the next optional update. And then there's a new feature for Mobile Hotspot, where apparently Windows Mobile Hotspot now supports 6 gigahertz connections. And this new band requires chips, Microsoft says, that support the feature and updated drivers. And also take note, the chips that support 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi might not support the 6 gigahertz mobile hotspot. And they also say to work with existing devices, the mobile hotspot will only use 6G HZ when you enable it. So just take note of that. And then apparently there is a new feature for settings. If we head to our time and language, date and time, apparently Microsoft says you will now be able to change time zones, and you don't have to be an admin to make this change. Now, I didn't know that was an issue. So apparently that's a new feature, and that will be rolling out apparently on a phased approach with the next update. And then we've got a couple of fixes rolling out that are gradually rolling out, which are quite important. And I'm just going to go through these quickly because this is a non-security bug fix update. Apparently they fixed domains where a device might fail to join a domain. That's quite an important fix. And then there are 3 important fixes for your mouse, where the first is the mouse cursor might disappear. Apparently this occurs when you hover over text fields in certain applications. That is a little bug that's been niggly for a good couple of months since 24H2 rolled out. So it's good to see that Microsoft is actually going to address that. And then if you turn on pointer trails, the mouse cursor becomes transparent and a black box appears behind it. They fixed that. And then the third mouse fix is the cursor might stutter when it moves across the screen. Apparently this occurs even when the system is not using a lot of resources. So those are 3 important fixes for your mouse and your mouse cursor. And then just a couple more to mention. There's a fix for the Pinyin input method editor. Apparently when you switch app windows, the IME language might change from Chinese to English. And there's a fix for snipping tool, where apparently screenshots might be distorted on a multi-monitor setup when you have 2 or more monitors. And then there's a task manager fix, which I'm actually quite happy to see, where apparently it takes too long to close after you close the app. They fixed that. And then there's a fix for Microsoft Excel 2016. Apparently when you open certain files, Excel opens, but the screen might remain on the loading screen. And then 2 more to go. There's a fix where a watchdog timeout error might occur when your PC resumes from sleep. I think that's an important fix. And then the last one, there's a fix for Windows Update installation, where apparently cumulative updates might not install. And the error code is 0x800736B3. This occurred after a feature on demand fails to install, and that's quite an important fix as well. So guys, that's it. That's our next optional bug fix C release update rolling out for 24H2 with 8 new features, 7 on a controlled rollout, and that's with update KB5050094. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.